Also, senior employees of the China Road and Bridge Corporation that operates the standard gauge railway have been denied bond. Now, the trio, who are accused of attempting to interfere with ongoing investigations, will be remanded in Mombasa. Kevin Mutai reports from Mombasa.
Li Jian, Li Jianghu and Shun Zing appeared before Chief Magistrate Julius Nyang'ea in Mombasa for the ruling on the bail application. The three Chinese nationals were arrested last week for their involvement into the alleged multi-million shilling Madaraka Express ticketing fraud. The trio have been in police custody since Monday. They pleaded not guilty to the offense of giving a bribe to a police officer to influence the outcome of the investigation on the ticket scandal. The Chinese reportedly sought to bribe the detectives with 900,000 shillings at the SGR Mombasa terminus last Friday, where the first installment was supposed to be 200,000 shillings, which was given on Friday, but the detectives declined to take the bribe.
The court is satisfied that the prosecution has demonstrated compelling reasons for denial of bond herein, the required legal standard, and consequently, the court rejects the defense application for release of all the accused persons on bond or bail.
The three Chinese nationals were arrested on Saturday and were taken to court on Monday under tight security. The probe also involves an SGR ticket booking clerk who was charged with stealing and forgery. They will be locked up at Shimolatewa Maximum Prison until 10th of December, when the case will be mentioned. The prosecution argued that the three could interfere with the ongoing investigation or even witnesses should they be granted bail or bond. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
The security detail of West Pokot Governor John Lonyangapuo has been withdrawn. The governor is accused of storming a roadblock on Wednesday evening to free a border rider who had been arrested by police. West Pokot County Commandant, that is Matthews Kuto, said security teams both at his home, residency and personal were withdrawn this morning. Lonyangapuo stormed the Safari Hotel roadblock on the Kitale-Lodwar highway to free the rider, who was allegedly confronted and beaten by police officers manning the road in the ongoing PSV operators crackdown. The rider, Leonard Pawen, who was carrying onions from Otam Market to Kapenguria, was stopped by the police, who handcuffed him on the motorbike. And still staying on the roads, and security matters related to the same calm has returned to Kericho town, where hours after clashes between anti-riot police and border operators almost turned tragic Thursday evening. Now, there was tension in the town for the better part of the evening when police officers engaged the operators in running battles.
Police have arrested an unknown number of individuals in Kericho town after a night of running battles with border operators who claim that the confrontation was triggered by the current operation that has been taking place in various parts of the country this month. Those who witnessed the riots say that an incident earlier in the day could have provoked the police to take action against the operators.
Hata si watu wa boda wote. Shida ilikuwa askari alichapwa na watu wa boda. Na ilikuwa saa 2 ya usiku. Stima ilikuwa imepotea. Na huwezi jua kama ni askari ama ni mtu gani. Juu mtu anaweza kukuibia, watu wa boda wanaibuanga hivyo.
The police officer who was hit is nursing head injuries after he was toned by the border operators.
My complaint is these police officers throwing tear gas just recklessly to innocent raya and killing innocent raya. We are saying no to that. If it is something that it happened, why don't we address this thing in a professional manner?
Others who witnessed the incident claim that trouble started after the border riders, who are usually stationed around a supermarket, resisted arrest during a crackdown meant to ensure compliance with traffic regulations. The latest incident comes barely 24 hours after another round of clash between the two groups.
The search for the abducted Italian aid worker Silvia Ramana has intensified, with security officers sealing off bony forest in areas bordering Lamu, Garissa and Tana River counties. However, the search has been hampered by harsh weather conditions in the area. Kenya Defence Forces has also deployed officers in the area, fully armed and with sniffer dogs, to locate the exact hiding place of the abductors, but are now stuck in Garsen town due to bad weather. Locals claim the abductors have been sending orders to deliver messages to the residents and family members, but police are not willing to cooperate. Now, Silvia was kidnapped on the 20th of this month in Kilifi County. Now, a Kilifi County taekwondo coach has been sentenced to 10 years in prison by a Malindi court for defiling a 15-year-old girl in 2015. Onesmus Safari Ngao, who is an employee with the county government of Kilifi, was accused of luring before defiling the minor during a competition in Watamu, Kilifi North Sub-County on November 20th, 2015. He was facing 2 counts of defilement and performing an indecent act, but the senior principal, Magistrate Silvia, said she could not sentence him on the account of defilement because of age inconsistencies in the charge sheet. The defense team has 14 days to appeal the sentence. Now, Deputy President William Ruto and Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa are currently presiding over the second day of the Nakuru International Investment Conference, with government already planning to construct more than 2,000 housing units in Naivasha under the Affordable Housing Initiative. Bridget Sangana is covering the conference and now joins us live with an update. Bridget?
Well, Gladys, it has been 2 days of intense activity here in Naivasha, and we are outside the main dome where other exhibitors and more or less local investors are just to show people on what Nakuru has to offer. And here we are standing by in one of these tents, and this is tent by the Universal Group. These are local SMEs that deal with safety. Remember, Nakuru is one of the counties that was gravely affected by the Solai Dam tragedy, one of the worst dam tragedies in this country. But we're going to speak with the MD just to help us understand that even as much as Nakuru is looking towards increasing investment, construction is one of the big things. Safety is also a key concern. Thank you so much. I'm joined by the MD, Leshan Oletaruru, who's just going to give us a brief on why is this, what role are you going to play actually in helping investors find Nakuru safe for investment?
Safety is very, very important. As you said, recently we experienced the Solai Dam tragedy, and it was because of the complacency in terms of safety and health and environmental policies. The legislations are there, and our role in Nakuru County is to ensure that companies and organizations which come into the county comply in terms of safety, health and environment. That is training the employees on health and safety, conducting environmental impact assessment with public participation. So we do air quality analysis, and we also do soil sampling to ensure that, for instance, if you're going to do a construction in a particular area, you are compliant with the basic principles and regulations. We also, it's very, very important also to train your employees on health and safety so that our environment can be sustainable. We look after our grandkids and our great-grandkids. We cannot just be setting up establishments. The legislations are out there. This forum has given us very good opportunities, because we're able to network with our clients, especially the ones in the floriculture and manufacturing industries. Since we provide services, for instance, air quality monitoring.
If you can just move us through, and also let me just ask you right now, before we unmount the camera, you are talking about safety and that being a concern. Yes. You're talking about also people coming in to invest here in this county. Yes. What is the main target? The government is saying that already they're building almost 2,000 housing units to help the cost of housing come down. Yes. So maybe you can just tell us what goes on in terms of safety training and maybe how to be safe even when a tragedy occurs, in the case of maybe having the awareness. You said these were air what?
Yes, these are air quality apparatus. For example, this is used to measure dust measurements in the air. It focuses on the finest particle, which is the industrial dust, to soil, to the dust which emitted from soil. And we are able to give results and tell you what apparatus, PPEs your employee should use. We also measure their water in terms of salinity and pH, because as you know, Nakuru water is very, very high in fluoride at times. Yeah, and it's very, very important for employees to and Kenyans to consume very, very good water. We also do, for example, the Solai tragedy would have prevented a lot of accidents, if a lot of deaths, if people were trained on first aid. So we have first aid equipments, and we train especially with Nakuru West constituency and Nakuru County in general and industry. We train on first aid.
Maybe you can just tell us, Leshan, what is the lack in terms of this awareness or the sensitization that you create for these organizations or the ones that are going to come to this county? What is the lack in terms of the knowledge in first aid or in safety for the general public? You've been in this industry for quite some time to know.
Yes, there's a huge lack. Kenyans, especially in our county, don't really pay attention in terms when it comes to ensuring that their employees are safe. So we try, it's work in progress, but it's a bit slow. And over the years, we've been trying to ensure that employees are trained, especially in the flower farms. Flower farms are very, very much in complying with the regulations. So we're making sure that we train them continuously, continuous improvement, and also in manufacturing industries. So the need is there, and it's work in progress.
It's a work in progress. So maybe you can tell us, maybe Meshach is ahead of the department. We have a variety of things, and these are what? Are they things that are used in construction or farming, or how are they helping also in ensuring that people are safe in whatever it is that they're doing?
At this particular department, we have various things that we provide to the workers. These are the safety shoes that we have at the workplace. We have different safety shoes for the people. We have the helmets that when you're on duty, you need to put on so that you can be safe, and in case of any falling object, you're not hit from the head. We have also the gloves here with us. We have various types of the gloves that you need to wear during the particular kind of work.
So basically, when you go to create awareness, what kind of organizations do you target? Do you target schools? Do you target flower farms? Because Naivasha maybe has many flower farms. What is the intention maybe to improve on safety as we walk this way?
We also target on the farms that are around, and also the local within the area, so that everybody can be aware about the safety and also be safe when carrying out their various duty. Even the small construction industry, the small industries and constructions, about the safety and wearing the right PPE while on work every time.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And maybe just to wind up, Leshan, to wind up briefly, what is the role that you as an SME going to play going forward? We're becoming a city. How are you going to expand in creating awareness?
We'll expand by, first of all, we've designed and created a disaster management policy framework, which we'll share with the county government, and that will ensure that all border riders are trained on first aid, emergency management, and also disaster preparedness. We will also ensure that moving on as a city, how do we continuously train organizations within Nakuru County on full compliance of health and safety and environment. Yes. Lastly, safety is also very, very important, and it's changed the role. This is a new helmet, which will give you, so be safe wherever you are.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I am slightly climbing up the lead of some of the investors in this country, and I hope this is color coordinated with my outfit. I think let me put it off later on. But there are so many, more than 1,000 exhibitors here at the investment conference. The Deputy President is yet to speak, but the most important thing for this investment conference is to also help those who have not invested in Nakuru to understand that this is also a place of immense opportunities. Housing is one of the places the government is looking towards improving, and already the Ministry of Urban Planning has said that they are going to dedicate more than 30 billion shillings to every county that is going to approach the national government to help in the setting up of houses that would eventually, hopefully, bring down the cost of living, the cost of housing. So I'm going to be following up on other exhibitors here at the Nakuru International Investment Conference, but the main man, the Deputy President, is also here, and we will be keeping an ear to what he's going to say, Gladys. But for now, I will be leaving you to take over the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you, Bridget Sangana, speaking to us from Naivasha. And of course, that summit and investment conference opening Nakuru County to the country and the world at large. More details coming from that in our subsequent bulletins. Now to another county, and the County Assembly of Embu has unanimously resolved to suspend 4 chief officers on account of incompetence, abuse of office and violation of the law. Now, chief officers in finance, health, youth and education departments were asked to immediately step aside pending investigations into their conduct.
The chief officers are accused of incompetence, abuse of office, breach of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, violation of the County Government Act of 2012, and contravening provisions of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. One by one, the MCAs supported the motion accusing the 4 chief officers of corruption, which they said has hampered development of the county.
Orders of the day. Order number 1.
The accused are Chief Officer Finance Ruth Wamboe Ndirangu, Health Chief Officer Grace Wanja Murithi, Youth Empowerment Officer Samuel Washira Njue, and Gervasio Mbogo Muchungu in education.
We need to investigate if this county is going to move at this direction, whereby a chief officer decides, I want, the money has been put, the money is in the budget and is reading ABCD. But if we want to implement using the same amount for XYZ, Mr. Speaker, then this county is not headed the right way.
The chief officers are also reported to have diverted funds allocated to specific projects by the Assembly to unauthorized spending. Only 2 MCAs out of 33, Margaret Lona Kariuki and Terry Mbuchi, were absent during the vote. The ward representative sought to clarify that the move was not to frustrate Governor Martin Wambora, but was to rid his administration of corrupt officials. The Assembly ordered for the immediate formation of an ad hoc committee to investigate the allegations leveled against the 4 chief officers.
Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi is urging local leaders to avoid engaging in divisive politics centered on tribalism ahead of the 2022 general elections and instead focus on service delivery to Kenyans. The governor, who officially graced the closing ceremony of the 92nd edition of the Kenya National Music and Cultural Festivals at the Meru Teachers Training College, also encouraged residents to live harmoniously with members of other communities in the spirit of the famous handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and NASA leader Raila Odinga.
There's far more resources to the counties so that if we have power to do more roads, more schools, employ more people within the counties, it will not matter who is the president of the country. It could come from Mombasa or Turkana or everywhere else, but we know here in Meru, we have enough resources to do our own things, so we can't be marginalized.
To some business, Rwanda's Bank of Kigali has this morning floated shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange as it seeks to raise more funding across borders. The Nairobi Securities Exchange says this cements Kenya's position as a financial hub in the region, even as it banks on offering a diversified array of products to attract more participation. According to the exchange, a wider range of investment products will equally provide a catalytic effect in attracting more appetite from investors.
We aspire to provide a multi-asset trading opportunity for various types of investors. So the exchange is now at a very advanced stage of setting up this derivatives market. We are now piloting, which will actually be commencing next year. We have been able to list an ETF, a real estate investment trust product as well. We are working with other providers to issue green bonds.
Now, former Vice President and Foreign Affairs Minister Kalonzo Musyoka have challenged the government to clearly define its foreign affairs policy as the country seeks to position itself in the first changing world. Now, Kalonzo lauded the strides taken by the country in the last 50 years, but cautioned against laxity as the advances in technology and engagement by nations demand innovative approaches. He spoke during the launch of a book detailing 50 years of Kenya's diplomatic engagement. The event was attended by, amongst others, former Vice President Mudi Awori and the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Ambassador Amina Mohammed. The book was edited by University of Nairobi's Ambassador Kipyego Cheluget.
Madam Serem, Karibu. I don't know Julius Ogengo to make his remarks. Karibu, Professor.
The authors of this volume recognize that foreign policy is dynamic and international relations are therefore works in progress. The authors offer highlights on key changes that have occurred in the international arena and provide insights into tackling the dynamics of the 21st century diplomacy. I take pride in the honor of being part of this history.
If we do not position ourselves now, we will be positioned. And I think Kenya is in a position to do that, positioning ourselves. Our friends who have gone before us did their very best. It is not enough to say we are working for regional peace. I think we want to grow this country to be not just a dominant economy within East Africa, but a country that is going to show the way when it comes to the whole of the African continent. It is.
Now, across the borders, thousands of people marched through the streets of Lome in Togo in response to a call from the main opposition coalition demanding that the electoral process be halted before the December 20th legislative elections. The protests follow a failure by leaders of a group of 14 opposition political parties to present candidates for the election. The opposition is demanding a shake-up of Togo's electoral authority and a reboot of election preparations. Togo's constitutional court has validated ballots for 12 parties, but not any of the 14-party opposition coalitions that has staged protests in the former French colony over the past year. G20 Powers are from today meeting for a two-day summit in crisis heat Argentina. The meeting comes after a stormy build-up dominated by U.S. President Donald Trump's consensus-barking crusade to realign world trade. The summit will be accompanied by an array of diplomatic initiatives with several bilateral meetings by the leaders attending, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, German Chancellor Angela Merkel is one of the leaders due to sit down with Trump on Friday, but she won't miss the summit's opening after her plane was forced to make an emergency landing in Cologne due to technical problems. Now, her temporary absence could complicate French President Emmanuel Macron's attempts to build a European front against Trump at a meeting of EU leaders attending the G20 on Friday morning.
Niaje. Want to invest in a biashara that will take your hustle to the next level?
Time for the sporting action. Sean Cadovillas with the latest.
Very good afternoon to you. Now, the Kenya Sevens lost their second match at the Dubai Sevens on Friday, going down 17 points to 21 to France, with Dennis Ombachi bagging a brace. Earlier, halfback Johnson Olindi scored his first ever try at the World Rugby Sevens Series. Shuja lost 14 points to 35 to Scotland in their opening match. The Scots ran in 4 tries as well as a penalty.
And of course, a lot more coming up on our comprehensive bulletins at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. Have a great Friday and weekend ahead. My name is Gladys Gachanja.